Hey, everybody. Look, we've got 17 people in here already. For a girl that doesn't go live too often, I'm happy to see that. Hey, Georgette, proud Marine mom, Pollyanna, all love yous up there. How's everybody doing tonight? TJ, good to see you. Nancy, I'm going to address you real quick. Hey, Tennessee Southern Hell. Nancy, we ain't got time for this tonight, okay? There's Pearl.
Hey, darling. How am I?
Hey, Huddy Buddy. It's so good to see you, Huddy. But Nancy, there will be no whining in my chat. Uh, if you don't like what I got to say, you can get your ass on up out of here. But it looks like my mods done took care of that. Tonight, we're going to talk about how people are so comfortable being lied to. C. Wilson, I saw that picture of you and Auntie. I'm glad y'all got to meet up. Old times. But we're going to talk about how people are very comfortable in the lies, how people are very comfortable lying to their friends. They will even go so far with their lie. You get called out on something. This I have yet to see. I don't know about you, Pearl. I have never seen anybody fake their coma.
I have never seen anybody fake their coma. I've seen a few people fake their death and disappear, and sort of somebody comes on and breaks the terrible news that unfortunately so and so has passed on, and then they're gone. And then inevitably, about 6 months to a year later, somebody who's very like them with a different name comes back. I've seen that happen. And I've seen
Yeah.
the joke that no one truly dies on YouTube. But I've never seen anybody fake a coma and also swap between being themselves and the husband and the lawyers, all in the space of one letter. It's very strange.
Yes, C. Wilson. It's happening right now. Now I remember a lady. Some of y'all, Huddy, C. Wilson might remember. What was her name? Sansa Ray. She faked her death, but I think she had done that a few times. But I've never seen anybody fake their coma. And yes, she's faking it. If I didn't feel so comfortable in saying that, I wouldn't say it. And here's why. While she's meant to be in a coma, yes, C. Wilson Sansaray, I knew it. While she's meant to be in a coma, she is steady beating up her community wall post, pretending to be her husband. And then, just as of what, last night, Pearl, it was her attorney she was pretending to be, but then signed off as herself and her husband.
Yes, and just that these lawyers are so shy that they want you to contact them, but they don't want to tell you where they are or how to contact them. Very strange.
There.
They were demanding the Six Up and to contact them without giving any details as to how that should take place. The Six Up has been putting her phone number out and putting her phone number out and putting her phone number out. I don't know what else you need.
Is this it? This is so tiny, though. We won't be able to read it. Let me remove that. Um, here, wait a minute. Let me find her first community wall post. I think I added it. No, because it starts out. Oh, here we go. I wish there was a way to make this bigger, but this was her first community wall post 3 days ago. Let's lay the groundwork, though, first, okay? Six Up goes into Queen OG's live. She wasn't live yet. Anybody that knows Six Up, she is very, very passionate and serious about recovery. Okay. That's not something she plays about. That's not anything she trolls about. So she goes into her comments and tells her, look, if you're struggling, reach out. There's help. Okay. Well, Queen OG does her live. Everything's fine. But in that live, she did have some real trolls come in. And well, Jill ain't a troll. Jill just came in there to stir trouble. And Jill said something about Queen OG being high, and they watched it on her members only live. Anyway, she gets it confused. Queen OG gets that very mixed up and thinks that Six Up shared out her. Hey Tiny, Georgette. Sorry, y'all. She gets it confused and thinks that Six Up shared out her members only live. That never happened. We don't even watch you like that. No shade, we just don't. And then she pulls out some oxygen in a can that you buy off of Amazon, right, Pearl? It was some type of
Yes,
something.
it was the make called Boost, and I'd like to point out the Boosts say themselves that they are not a medical grade oxygen. Yet she kept stressing that it was medical grade oxygen. It wasn't. It isn't.
No, not in the least. It's something that, from what I understand, like hikers will use, skiers, just to get, I guess, when they're in higher elevations, to get extra oxygen. It's not anything you would get at the farm. Well, you don't get oxygen at the pharmacy anyway, but it's not anything you would get from a medical supply store. Okay. So when she does that, and she's talking about her oxygen levels being so low, there's a lot of people on the internet, okay? All different walks of life. Some of those people are on oxygen. Hey, yep. And they don't take too kindly. And I get it. They don't take too kindly to lies. We heard 13th on Earth's Archangel on Earth. You know, they shared their story of how their life changed drastically after having to be on oxygen. So a lot of people didn't take too kindly to that. And she got some pushback. Well, the next day, Lord help, she went live. She was all to pieces. When she ended that live, here's the community wall post we see on my screen right here. And I'll read it. It's tiny, but I'll read it. Now, she's acting as her husband in this community wall post. For anyone who actually cares about my wife, she is currently in a coma. From what I can surmise from reviewing her browser history and emails, she was very upset. She made dinner for the boys. She went to bed without her oxygen on. You know, them oxygen in a can. Okay. She didn't have the oxygen in the can on. Okay. Whatever we got to tell ourselves. She was barely breathing, and I actually thought she was dead. And we drove her to the ER. They immediately rushed her into the ICU and put on oxygen. They don't think she's going to make it. And if her body does, they don't know if her brain will function normally ever again. But she has always been a medical miracle. So knowing her, she'll come back fully functioning and want to be on YouTube. God, that's tiny. I got it on my phone too. Like an idiot. Hold on. Let me pull it up on my, I got it here. Because I'm going to tell you something. This community wall post, how long would you say that post was, Pearl? 4 paragraphs or longer?
Yeah, It was one of the shorter ones in the scheme of things, but for a community wall post, it was really long. I mean, people on YouTube come to watch, not to read, and that's very much true of community walls. I've never seen war and peace posts quite like this since I was on music forums back in 2002. You know, and people would really get into an argument about whose album was better. This is just like real old school long-windedness. The one from the lawyers today, if a lawyer had actually written that, you'd be thousands of dollars in the hole because I mean they're practically charged by the line.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I want y'all to know this thing goes on and on. I'll hit the key stuff. He says, I can assure you, she says, I can assure you that her problem is what is that word, Pearl? Hypox
Hypoxemia, it's lack of oxygen, lack
lack
of
of
oxygen in
oxygen.
the blood.
Okay. It's slowly getting worse for about a year. Okay. Now, y'all got it. I wish I could put this on the screen. Okay, this gets good. We only found out, and we only found this out, and since she has been to the doctor, who has been her doctor for 25 years, many times, and yes, she does have a bachelor's, a master's, and a PhD. She got a full ride to Northwestern University medical school in 1992 and a full ride to MD/PhD program. There she got her master's and a PhD. She moved to Silicon Valley in 1996. Y'all ready for this? Everybody lean in on this one. Okay. Where she was one of the founding fathers of the internet you know today. Now, I'm going to end it right there because it goes on for days. Okay, we'd be here all night. Hey, Harlem Street Tales, where have you been? Well, I haven't been around. It's so good to see you. So, I'm done, dead, deceased, right? Yep. So she is one of the founding fathers, y'all, of the internet. Now, while she's meant to be in a coma, that's supposed to be her husband writing this 8-page dissertation. It's her.
I'm
Okay.
astonished by husbands' self-collectedness. When my sister was on life support in the 2 weeks between her collapsing from lack of oxygen and us having to take the decision to remove her from life support. And this is not a convenient story. People who've known me for years knew this long before this was discussed about Queen OG. This is a very old story. We could barely wipe our mouths, remember to have clean clothes, and get back to the hospital in between sort of crossing over who's going to sit with her. The thought of writing an essay on exactly what great contributions she'd made to all our lives would not have crossed our minds. Another reason why I think it's just complete bullshit.
It is. Now, okay. So 6up, you see 6up in the chat here. She finally does a live responding to Queen OG. She hasn't said nothing at this time. Well, wait, no, hold on. When she made the community wall post, Queen OG, 6up had done a live. But Queen OG comes under 6up Media's video and is leaving comments like this right here. This is her husband again. Now, I could show you about 8 of these, but I won't. I have them, but I'm not going to do that. C. Wilson, I wouldn't be surprised if that's next. The old GoFundMe. There's about 8 of these messages like you see on the screen. This is her husband again. And it goes on and on and on. But we're not done yet. Okay. Now, I know a lot of you all already know the story. Okay. But some of my subscribers, they're not from this sector. They're from my old sector. So they're like, what the hell? Okay.
Can I just
So,
add to this screenshot though, so that an interesting thing to note about this particular comment is it is stressed over and over again that her husband doesn't do social media. He doesn't know anything about social media. But you'll note that while his poor wife is in a state of coma, he's looking up YouTube's terms of service,
oh yeah,
as we would all do in a time of crisis, in order to threaten people with the medical misinformation clause. I can only assume that in his stressed state, he didn't read them properly, because if anybody's read terms of service about medical misinformation, it is actually about you denying the official information that is put out by, and it specifies local area health authorities and the World Health Organization. Now, Sixup is quite an impressive person, but I don't think that she's hiding that she works for either of those two things. It was a personal opinion. So this medical misinformation thing is, again, another dose of bullshit.
it is. And Six Up has a special power of putting people in comas for simply responding. And I want to remind y'all, she only responded to Queen OG after Queen OG did a live about her, saying pretty vile shit. It was vile. Um,
It really was
the-
disgusting. I know these people, these pearl clutchers and
yes,
shirt rippers, the gnashers of teeth and the wailing about how unfair even commenting about this is. You forget the vile things that were said about Six Up. Really disgusting. I don't even want to repeat them, but they
no,
were absolutely vile. But Six Up isn't meant to say anything back. And I've got a special word here for you, Lynn, because I know you'll be hanging on out every word and
God,
totting
yeah.
up the minutes of time that is spent talking about this. Why don't you go off and tot up the minutes of time that were spent with people talking about Tanga? Oh, but of course you won't do that because you're on your usual bullshit of only examining one set of people. Go away.
Go away. And while we're on that subject, and this is what I wanted to touch on. Some of you people are very weird to me, and some of y'all I kind of liked, but y'all are acting like we're meant to be fed these lies. We're meant to just, well, she's going through a lot, Had this been Heidi, okay? Had this been Purple, we would have never let that go. Now, let's just be honest about that. Now, you
And
got,
they're hiding their hypocrisy by saying this is a moment of crisis with her. Yes, medically, because she's obviously under the influence of something. It's a crisis to that extent. But the behaviour is not crisis behaviour, because we could have aired this out months ago when she said to me that accused all of us, all the jerks, of taking stuff out of her private Discord and talking about it online and spreading it about online. And I had the temerity to write 2 lines on my personal community wall that said, Queen OG, please explain to me how I took something out of your Discord when I've never, ever been a member there. That's all I
no,
wrote. And boy, not only did I have about 18 replies, but she then sent us the War and Peace of emails,
yeah, I was
basically
going to mention
telling
that.
us that if we didn't shut up, we'd be sleeping with the fishes
She told
because the
us that.
mafia were coming for us. So this is not a new behaviour, and we've let it slide until it's got to this extreme. It's just like, how extreme are you willing to let it get unnoticed? You wouldn't let somebody else say that they'd had a dodgy sort of diagnosis of some minor medical complaint, but you're going to let somebody fake a whole coma and look the other way.
Yeah.
Make it make sense to me.
While she's threatening people with attorneys, threatening them with the mafia. And bitch, we know you ain't got no mafia in your family. Cut it out. Stop it.
Threatening to fit them up with crimes of drug possession. And remember, she's threatening somebody who is in recovery and who it is not too extreme to say you could possibly get a policeman to look into that sort of bullshit And the police aren't too concerned about whether somebody's actually guilty of that sort of crime. If they just think that you're some sort of um, past crime drug addict person, they're quite happy to fit people up. Now, some of you are going to take offence at me saying that. Well, tough, you're going to have to. But it's a risky thing for people to threaten.
It is. And I don't take, look, when she wrote that long, crazy email to us that we would be swimming with the fish, whatever, that she's watched too many movies, y'all. Just let me tell you, this lady claims that she grew up in the ghetto. Then she claims that she grew up as a mafia princess. She claims she was kidnapped twice. Her life is a movie, okay? And who knows, it might be one. I think she's watched too many films and she tries to like convince people that's her life, some type of delusion there. Um, but when she sent us that email, this was months ago. We didn't say a word. Now, when you go faking that you're in a coma and you're blaming everybody else, and then some of these people are actually coming to us like, I just can't believe you're talking about this. This is horrible. No, what's horrible is a lady pretending to be in a coma. That's sick. While she's beating up her community while pretending to be her husband. And then last night, pretending to be her attorney. That is sick. How about you say something to her? Oh, but you can't, right? Because she's in a coma. No, she ain't. She's right there. She has been on TikTok. She has edited all of her posts. Oh, and shout out to you, Iris, because you did show what she did. You see this right here? I'm going to show it. I don't give a damn. She sent this in her Discord. Okay. For all the people that don't know this story, she was telling people on her first community wall post that she's in a coma. She might not make it. But hey, don't cancel your memberships. Oh, and if you can you please write nice things about me so my sons can put them on a shirt? Because she wanted to make merch. And then she drops this bullshit right here. And if you look at it, you can tell that's taken off of a screen, either a computer or a TV, because it's pixelated. See that? That's not Queen OG.
It's not even a person on a standard ventilator, let alone Queen OG.
Yeah,
this is a person on an ECMO machine. If you can look at the top there, can you see that big blue tube?
I can.
Can you see just to the left of the big blue tube, the thin, dark red line? That is a bloodline out. An ECMO machine is used to support people's breathing who have got serious lung issues and need to get oxygen straight in the blood, but do have hope of recovery. They would not do a tracheostomy and use an ECMO machine on somebody who'd arrived at the hospital, borderline brain dead, and didn't have any hope of recovery. I know this because the first time that my sister was on life support, it was an ECMO. She also says that she's covered up the head because they had to shave the hair off to use brain monitors. Again, if you've ever had the misfortune to sit next to somebody on life support whose brain is being monitored, the sensors go across the forehead in a line, and then there are two separate ones on each temple. They don't need to shave your hair off. And I'm talking about nearly 20 years ago. I'm sure that technology is even better now. So that's all of this is bullshit. If you close up on the picture, you will see that that is definitely a tracheostomy type of breathing support, because can you see the blood in the tube that is ready to be suctioned? That wound has been there for possibly at least a week, and yet she'd only collapsed 48 hours earlier. Please explain all this to me. None of it makes sense.
Right. Please and this isn't her. I mean, it doesn't even look like her. But y'all, while she was meant to be in this coma, not only was she beating up her community wall posts, editing comments under 6up's video, responding to everybody, she was also in her Discord dropping this and acting as if it was her husband, emailing Earth. okay, sent Earth this big long email. It's crazy. And for the people that want to know more about this story, I'm going to pull up some of what happened that day. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to torture everybody with the long video. I'm just going to hit on some highlights of that day. Okay? You okay with that, Pearl?
I'm very good with it. And can I just very quickly say before you start,
Yeah.
if you have the misfortune to be out there and somehow come across this image and it's somebody that you know, I am terribly sorry. I hope to goodness the person involved is well. And if they're not, you have my greatest sympathies. But we're using an image that was sent out and we don't know where it came from.
We don't. And it's not her. I mean, she wants, I don't even think it's her 20 years ago.
Should be in recovery because she tripped over something and broke all her fucking teeth out and was homeless under a bridge shooting shit in her neck. Okay. I've never had a speeding ticket. I've never paid a bill late. I'm not like you, honey. Okay. But I've never paid a bill late. I'm not like you, honey. Okay. But now my children have seen that and so have their friends. So I would like you to contact my 14-year-old and say that you are an immoral bitch who was wrong.
I wanted that to be heard. She wanted Six Up Media to call her children and tell her 14-year-old that she is a immoral bitch that is wrong. First of all, I don't believe, Queen OG, that your child ever saw that video. I think you're making it up and it's a sympathy ploy. You're one of those moms. We know the type. Don't you talk about my children. All you said was, did you get your kids ready for school today? And they'll go to that bullshit right there, okay? They'll reach for the stars, right? Don't you talk about my children. I'm a mama bear. No, you're not. Stop. Knock it off. Her
Yeah,
child
if you
never
just
saw it.
even say to them, and you're a mother, don't you talk about my children. No one mentioned your children. They mentioned you
They
and your
mentioned you.
position in life. They didn't mention your children.
Can you imagine, though, some nut telling you, you need to call my minor child?
Madness. If you'd
I've
upset one of mine, I'd be saying to you, I don't know how it happened, but you upset one of my children. You don't even breathe in their vicinity. Like, I wouldn't say, come phone them, come have a chat. It's madness. It's just absolute madness. Something has just dawned on me. While she was absolutely spewing out this vileness about Six Up, a whole gang of you that were in a community post beating your chests about how awful it was that we're discussing this were laughing it up when the person who was torturing Six Up, that Six Up had to escape from, and who Six Up kept her sobriety through escaping from. And God, I love that woman for everything she went through and the strength that she kept. You were all yucking it up. It was the biggest hoot in the world when he was saying things about Six Up, and you were having him on panels. That was hilarious. But now suddenly, oh my goodness, nobody should talk about this.
Well, guess what? I'm going to talk about it until I get tired. I don't care who it upsets. I don't care who's whine assing around about it. I'm talking about it. Okay? This is weird. I've been on YouTube for a long time. I covered a cult called Carbonation for damn near 5 years. This is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen.
And that you said something that was completely untrue and defaming for content. Because if you really cared about me, you would have come to me because you have my email, because we talked a lot back in those Ziggy times. Remember how you wanted me to get all the information and stuff because you were getting sued by her and everything and all that? Yeah, I remember all those times. See, if you really cared about me,
Except
you would have
that,
come to me directly and talked to me.
except that Ziggy was not suing Six Up, and Six Up had all the information that she needed. But you keep telling a good story.
That's what I was about to say. I was about to pause it, actually. There was no suing going on. It was a stupid protection from a restraining order that she never got. Okay? So get your story correct. And let me remind y'all, Six Up hadn't even went live about her here. At this moment when she's doing this live, Six Up Media hadn't done a live about her yet.
This was her reaction here to Six Up is like the video version of the email that we got from her because I dared to write 2 lines on my personal community wall.
Yes.
The wildness, the extremes of imagery and threats. Off the
That's the
scale.
one. That's the one we got the email about. We'll swim with the fishes because you dared write 2 sentences on your community wall post.
I thought it was a valid question. How did I take stuff out of your Discord when I've never ever been in there? I thought it was not a major comment, but pretty valid. But oh boy, was that a mistake?
For real. I mean, we were the devil to hear her tell it.
Oh yes, and
And I
she
would have
did
said, no.
wheelchair shame me as well. This woman who will in a minute go on to talk about she's a protected class and you're not meant to insult her because she has a disability, was quite happily wheelchair shaming me and hoping that dogs attacked me.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? We're not supposed to say anything to her. We're supposed to sit down like good little children and just, well, she's going through something. Clearly, she's going through something. You know what? We're all going through something. I have been through hell. I don't come in here and threaten people with the mafia.
I tell you now, if Heidi had had the week that you've just had, we'd have never heard the end of it.
No, we wouldn't. And I might tell y'all later.
No, I have low blood oxygen. So yes, sometimes I get confused and people can mistake it for other things. We all mistaked it for other things for a long time and we're very confused as to what it was. So you don't care about me. So please don't try and say that. You don't. But if you care about hurting children, you can go and talk to them and you can say, I'm sorry that I said that about your mommy. I was really wrong and I used her for content because I'm an inconsiderate bitch. You can do that. Actually, many of you can do that. So maybe after this live, I can find your information that Hopi gave me. Hey, Mr. Pork, how are you? You're probably going to be the only mod here because I think you're the only mod that I have right now. But I'm just since you just got here, I'm just letting people know that I don't really understand yesterday because the past 3.
So I had it a little too fast, but here she threatens to get information on people that somebody named Hopi gave her. First of all, most of us didn't even know Hopi like that. I don't even know if this Hopi chick is back around. But you tried it.
3 videos I put out, I clearly stated my oxygen level problems and what it does. Makes you confused. It mimics someone being drunk. It does. You pass out. You get confused. So what? So you missed that, and then you just took the rest and decided to make fun of me? I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. But it doesn't hurt me because I don't care. But what it did hurt was a little 14-year-old boy when his friend saw it and then said, I thought your mommy had an oxygen machine. Is that, were you lying to us? Like, what?
14-year-old boy used to call you mummy.
Mommy?
I call other people's mum mummy. Weird.
That is a lie from the pits of hell. I'm going to tell y'all, if you all believe, hey, Josh, if you all believe that her 14-year-old son saw one of her videos and came up to her, or saw one of, first of all, Six Up hadn't even done a video yet. Earth had done a video on and it was Queen OG's video. She had clipped a part of it where she's talking about oxygen and her numbers, and if her numbers were that low, she would have been in the hospital. Okay, but anyway, there is no way that that child watched that video. If you believe that, then I don't even know what to say. But there is no way that that child stumbled upon that video and then said, "Mommy, I thought," or her, what was it? She said her son's friend stumbled upon the video and then went to her son and was like, "I thought your mom was really on oxygen." What 14-year-old boys are talking about 50-year-old women being on oxygen? None of them. What's going on with your PS4, PS5, or Xbox? They don't give a damn about this shit. The lies.
No, I mean, I could imagine that if they came across you on the internet, it'd be, "Dude, what's wrong with your mom?"
Yeah, that would be more like it. But listen, it gets better, y'all. She really wants us to believe that a 14-year-old boy's life is destroyed.
And now he's mad that I've ruined his life. And, he's questioning everything. So, I would like all the adults, since you guys say children are off limits, who have actually now hurt a child, I would like you to be an adult. And I would like you to talk to that child. And I would like you to say, "You know what? I only watched half the story. And I used your mommy for content because I'm not a very good person. And I'm sorry. And what I said was a lie. And I now know that." Because I haven't sued anybody for defamation yet because none of you have enough money. But if one of you does, I just might, because now you know that what you said is a lie.
So there you have it. She wants people, strangers, complete strangers off the internet, to talk to her son. You are sick, okay? I don't even think Heidi's done anything like this. You are sick. And then she threatens to sue. I haven't sued anyone yet, but if I find out you have something, I just might. Do it. Do it, Queen OG. And then I'm going to end this here because that's about enough of that dumb shit right there. Because she just rambles on more and more. That night, after that video, 6 Up finally responds. And she's nice. Way nicer than I would have been. Okay? After 6 Up done that, her response to that, y'all know the game on YouTube, response videos. We will respond. That night is when she left that community wall post, acting as if she was in a coma, and her husband was letting everybody know. But wait, there's more. Okay? She then begins to leave comments under 6 Up Media's video, the response video. She's editing the comments, and she edits one of the comments to make it sound like she self-harmed, if you get my drift. Yeah. She made it sound like acting as her husband. If my wife committed S. But everybody is just supposed to ignore it, overlook it, pretend you didn't see that, and don't say nothing about it because she's in a crisis. I agree, she is in a crisis. But that does not give her the right to try to manipulate people. I don't know. I'm struggling with this crisis thing, because how much of a crisis are you in? If you can think, like premeditate that far ahead to make it sound like you're your husband, although we know it's not you, your husband, it's you, and use emotional manipulation like you did of self-harm.
Yeah, we're talking about two overlapping things. I mean, obviously, there is. I'm not going to speculate exactly what the substance is, but I challenge anyone to say there's not substance misuse going on. I mean, it's so obvious.
You
The
got it,
substance
Pearl. I'm going to do
misuse.
something real quick. I'll be
Yep.
right. Okay.
It's not only a problem of whatever the substance misuse is, but it's that obviously on top of some sort of personality disorder. I think that we're seeing some a behaviour that is normal to her. That she, when anybody challenges her or anything, she raises the stakes so high to try and make people never challenge her about anything, and that is an underlying personality disorder. On top of which, you've got substance misuse, and this is like the perfect storm of those two things interacting. But I wonder, the people who say that it shouldn't be spoken about, what exactly do you think the benefits of being silent are going to be, other than assuring yourself that you were not part of anything? What possible benefits for this person is there in being silent, other than to give them the power and the feeling of control that they can continue to do this? Not challenging someone is not the answer. I'm not utterly convinced what the answer is, but I do know that staying silent serves no purpose whatsoever. And I don't understand the mentality of people who say that this shouldn't be examined or talked about in any way. Um, Obviously, a lot of the criticism about this, yes, as Six Up Media says, silence kills addicts. And I believe that there's a saying that we recover loudly to help those suffering in silence. I have never personally been in that situation. I will say that's through luck more than anything. I'm not one of these people who says, oh, no, it could never happen to me. I believe that a lot of people don't realise it's happened to them till it's too late. I've always been very wary of taking prescription medications because I know I'm that sort of personality. I'm quite a compulsive personality. I could imagine me getting deep into it. So I've always been ultra careful. But that's not to say that I judge anybody else who's found themselves in this situation. Being in pain is difficult. Being in chronic pain is years of difficulty. I totally understand how people develop a dependence, and sometimes how that dependency increases where you're getting alternative supplies of things, because physical pain becomes psychological pain, becomes emotional trauma from feeling trapped and not knowing what to do. I have enough foresight to know how these things happen, and I have immense sympathy, but I have more sympathy and more respect for the people who recognise it in themselves and make a step forward to try and not just be clean, but to be sober, because these are different things. There are lots of people who manage to stay off a substance, but their life is still broken in some way because they've never got to the fundamentals of what's going on. My respect most is for those people who deal with it at source. They don't just recognise the issue of the substance, but they recognise whatever drove them, the underlying things. They don't just stop taking, they repair. And, people are going to criticise Six Up as much as they want for saying what she said, but it really was motivated from a place of care.
It
She,
was.
she saw somebody who was struggling, and she put it in public because sometimes you have to protect yourself. As somebody who is working her recovery every day, she's concerned about the situation OG is in, but it's not for her to be reaching out privately and trying to be a support system, because that's like they say, in a crisis you put the oxygen mask on yourself. Pardon the pun, because we're talking about oxygen. You have to look
Yeah.
after yourself in order to look after another person. This
But
is the way that it was done for several good reasons. Her response is down to her. It's not down to Six Up.
exactly. And Pearl, and I said this to Six Up. If she didn't like that comment, okay, I can even understand that. If it would have been me and Six Up left me that comment, I would have been like, get that out of here. If it doesn't bother you that much, girl, what are you talking about? Get that comment out of here and reach out to me privately. She could have took that approach, but the approach that she took was pretending to be in a coma. That's not normal. And I feel like it's more of her pride, her ego, than anything else. Yes, I do believe she's in some type of crisis, but I feel like this is more driven from ego. What do you think? Am I way off here?
I think that it is ego, definitely. I think that she can't, in the same way as she has to amplify these supposed successes she's had in life. I know some very intelligent and academic people, and they don't spend all their time bragging about their qualifications. I've never really come across it. And
haven't. You are one of them. Fundi Fee's in here. She's one of them. They do, you and Fundi, and I know a lot of people, they do not spend their whole time on YouTube bragging about their credentials. It's insanity. No. And a lot of it's a lie. She is not a founding father of the YouTube or internet.
It's very strange. But like I said, I think that it's personality disorder with the substance misuse on the top of that. I think we're dealing with levels of things here. You know, it's like it's 4 problems in a trench coat. It's not just one thing.
It's just, yeah. And here's the thing. I'm not into the word bash or bully when you simply call somebody out on their lies. If I was like picking on her or making fun of her looks or something like that, look, I'd get it. I don't do that. But why do we always go straight for? And I've noticed it, I swear, and it's mainly in this sector. You dare to challenge somebody, and all of a sudden you're bashing and bullying them. I hate those words, and I wish that they were just completely gone.
We haven't said anything this evening about, you know, all these things that she usually brings up that she's attacked about, like her looks, you know, her hair, Barbie, the clothes, the shoes, you know, sort of all these things that she has. We haven't spoken about any of that because none of that is important. We've been talking about the lies. And these are lies that actually affect real people that we know and love. I know we've got at least 3 close friends who unfortunately have reached situations where they're reliant on oxygen. They don't talk to me as if they're drunk. They're not at this point of confusion where they don't make any sense. You're making them sound like sort of like vegetables on wheels. They're people who rely on oxygen to lead some sort of normal life, but they're still the same people. It hasn't completely overwhelmed their personalities at all.
No.
And it's the same with the amount of people who have, I mean, I know I've been through it, and I know Tits has been through it, where you've had to sit next to somebody that you love. And thank God, in Tits' situation, her son pulled through. My sister didn't. We had to make the decision that it was not survivable, and therefore we withdrew life support because, unfortunately, there's a limited amount of equipment, and people who do have a chance of surviving need it. And I know that sounds like a hard thing to say, but realistically, if somebody doesn't have a chance of any survival on their own, all you're doing is making the suffering for you and for them even longer. And it is not an easy thing to decide. And her putting up that photo, it didn't trigger me. I've come to terms with it, but I wonder how many people it did trigger. I know
sure
that she put it in her Discord and she didn't expect it to go out any further, but she must have been crushingly naive. Come on. All these lies, and then you put up this picture that looks nothing like you, and you don't expect anybody to react to it at all. It's madness.
Well, Just Dawn, even. I mean, Just Dawn was one of her A1 day ones. That really bothered her. And she had forgotten, Queen OG had forgotten that she had already shared that photo. You didn't think this through, OG. You didn't think this through at all. And it's like Iris told you, just stop commenting. Stop. And I'm going to end it with my saying, you're embarrassing yourself and you should go to bed. Like, seriously, find a bed, lay in it, take the devices, throw them out in the yard, bury them, give them to the dogs, do something. Do not type anything else. But you did just last night. Now you've done removed it, but the
There'll
internet.
be more tonight. I guarantee tonight there will be another War and Peace, whether anybody will catch it or not. It'll be up for a while and then it'll be gone. Or it'll be on TikTok. But there'll be something. I don't know what she thinks her end game is here. I just don't understand it.
I don't either. What? Okay, you're in a coma. Well, you're not, but you're telling people you're in a coma. Let's just, for argument's sake, you are. Okay, whatever. You're not. I can't even do it for argument's sake, y'all. Sorry. What are you going to do though, OG, when you come back? Because you will come back. What is
the first paragraph of the first thing that was ever put up by her husband? It said in that first paragraph, they don't think that she's going to survive, but she's a medical miracle and she always bounces back. It was already put there in the first paragraph that she's coming back, and it's going to be one of these. If you haven't all been supportive enough, she'll stagger onto the camera in 2 weeks' time, giving the performance of a lifetime, saying that she's back and how
That's
wicked you all are, that you had no sympathy while she was going through this trauma.
And talking about how horrible and evil all of us are for not believing her. Watch what I tell you. You're exactly right, Pearl. That's what it'll be. That for all the people that didn't believe her,
it's going to be interesting though, because you said that you've had your head shaved and that picture had a tracheostomy scar. So it's going to be a makeup challenge.
The get ready with me's. And I don't even know if she noticed. I won't mention names, but Queen OG, people had been leaving your chat for a while because it was hard to watch you. You left for, I don't know, 6-8 months. You came back. I watched you once. I couldn't do it no more. I couldn't. It was just like, no. I will give her credit. Back in the early days, I did think some of her little skits were funny. But something happened. What? I don't know. But when she came back after being gone for 6 to 8 months, it was worse. It really was. It's sad, but at the same time, it really annoys me, the manipulation. And I just wanted to speak on it. I've been typing away in chats. Shout out to Shining, who gave us a place to talk about it. And I wanted to talk about it. And like I said earlier, I don't feel nothing. And I don't mean that in a way like I don't feel anything. I do want her to be okay, but I don't feel bad for talking about it. Y'all can miss me with that. Y'all try that stuff every time something happens.
Well, again, I say, I would like one of them to tell me exactly what they think the benefits of silence are. What do you think not talking about this is going to achieve, other than to strengthen her resolve that she can say and do whatever she wants?
Yes, that's exactly what I thought too, Pearl. If you just sit in silence while she does this bullcrap with the attorney talking on her YouTube, which an attorney would never, a husband don't even talk that much, and he ain't talking on a community wall post. But while she's doing all that, we're just meant to sit here in silence and just let her get by with it, huh? So she can just keep on doing this?
Well, she says the most awful things about people. and makes threats, both
Yes.
publicly and privately. But you're all okay with that?
Oh, gee. We've known about the threats you've been making. Please stop using the mafia. First of all, ma'am, if you were born into the mafia, if you had mafia friends and family members, you wouldn't be sharing that with anybody. That's not how that works. Your stories never add up. One day you're a mafia princess, the next you're born in the ghetto, okay? And you were kidnapped twice, and then your grandpa come and rescued you. It's just a bunch of bullshit. These stories have to stop, or you can continue. I'm sure, look, there's always going to be people that believe it, okay? We've seen
Yes.
it before. So you will find your tribe, okay? There will be people that'll be like, oh, yeah, me too. I ate government cheese as well. Oh, my daddy was in the mafia too. And one time, yeah, whatever. So you will find your tribe. But for the most part, quit thinking everybody over here is stupid.
Yeah, Eliza says, first rule of the mafia is you don't talk about the mafia. Exactly, the mafia, an organisation so notorious for spreading all its secrets that it gave us the word omerta, which is code of silence. That's how much they don't talk about themselves.
Right. That too, Shorty. They don't live in the ghetto. Like, what is she talking about? Oh, it's crazy.
Well, you'd have to be a pretty ineffectual member of the mob, given that usually it's a protection racket for money. If you're living in the ghetto, you're not doing it very well.
Mm-mm. Oh, and I wrote something down. Whose chat was I in? Oh, Unseen. Oh, hellfire. Unseen. That's another story. But Rocco, I wanted to address you um, about Six Up. You were like, why was I being mentioned in Six Up's chat? Six Up wasn't mentioning you in a bad way. Georgette said something about certain people believe this. Six Up looks down at the chat and she's like, why is Rocco being mentioned in my chat? She's just confused. She didn't say anything bad about you. I just wanted to clear that because I saw you in Unseens and I tried to explain that to you and then whatever. Rowena, ma'am, aren't you supposed to be over at Queen Bee's buying 100 memberships? Rowena, how are you over in Unseens in this weird dynamic? I'm very confused. Sorry, Pearl. I wrote that down in my notes and I wanted to get that off my chest. Rowena was over in Unseens. Did you see that?
I did see that, and apparently this was time that she was spending while she was on vacation. I can't say that being in Unseen's chat would be top of my things to do on vacation.
Hell no. You know, it's just funny to me. I've been saying this lately. Tell people who your enemies are and you fall out with them. That's where you'll find them. It's amazing. It really is. But Rowena ending up over in Unseens that's nobody's her enemy. She's nothing to us. Who's Rowena? She used to be in our chat a lot with the jerks. She was in the members only Discord. She left because we didn't have much for Queen Bee or nothing at all. And you know how she feels about Queen Bee. Yes, I love Josh too. But yeah, I don't know what to expect later on from Queen OG. But I am following this to the end, and I will probably have more to say about it. And I got to tell you, if you hadn't heard it already, I don't care how you feel about it. You're not going to guilt trip me. Rowena, please pay to repair unseen squeaky treadmill. Or, oh, yeah, maybe she'll be monetized soon and, she can start dropping lots of money on the memberships. Oh, there was something else I wanted to show y'all. Hold on. Give me a second. Where did it go? Hold on. And I'm going to check something. Was it this one? Oh, that's the whole community wall post. Hold on. Let me share this. That's the one I already shared, I believe. Yeah, hold on. Okay, here's the guilt trip. This is OG pretending to be her husband. You also take a moment and think about what you do on YouTube right now and what you do to other people. OG, do you know what your channel is? It's a roasting channel, okay? So this right here makes no sense. What you do to other people on YouTube and what you do for money. If you think you're famous or people know you because you're on YouTube, they don't. And I don't have a clue who any of you are. Now,
What do you mean we're not world famous with our 3,000 and a bit subs? I mean, you've got over 10,000. You're three times as famous as we are. You're not even monetized. Where's this money coming from? This
right.
alleged of, oh, please.
I know. That's why I wanted to read more of it. I want people to get the full scope of this community wall post. To me,
I mean, look, you have to be really somebody. You have to hit like 16,000 and have YouTube Ziggy on your license plates on
you
your
gotta
car.
have the license
And have your own
plate.
Ziggurat to really feel like you're somebody in this hood.
Yeah, and buy a dog too. Yes. To me, you're pathetic people who have probably just killed one of the most wonderful people in the world that I've ever met. Her children want to manage her members' area and make merchandise with her mother's sayings. That makes no sense. With her mother's saying. Okay. Her children want to manage her members' area and make merchandise with her mother's saying.
It was going to say with her sayings, and then they wanted to do the mother thing even more. Yeah. And so they got her mother.
Saying to remember. They want their mother's sayings to remember to buy because they are devastated and they just want to have anything to remember their mother by. So if you are one of her members, please stay a member. Please stay a member. So while she's meant to be in a coma, it's her, claiming that she probably won't make it. She's asking that you please stay a member. So
get ready to buy some merch.
Get ready to buy some merch. All right. Please stay a member. And I don't know if you can do this, but maybe write a nice story about her in there for them to see, because that will help my kids remember their mother. So
You're not the Princess of Wales. Your kids are not Wills and Harry. There
This is
isn't going to
insane.
be an 80-foot by 80-foot pile of bouquets outside your door.
This is insane. Okay, and then here she comes. Looky here. Up under 6 ups. And she says, I am the husband. Thank you for the lies and putting my wife in a coma. And please go read her community page. My God. Those have since been taken down.
Anyway, in light of 6-Up's continued killing spree, she'll now be known as Jen Wick.
I have never heard of somebody putting somebody in a coma for responding. Yes, it's funny.
I mean, I've watched a few lives where I felt like I was slipping into a coma, but it never actually happened.
No. And I'm not taking up for Purple here. I'm really not. But
that's never a good start to a sentence.
No, but listen. Purple did not do lives on that lady like she always claims she did. Purple was not even talking about her. And she would say that Purple was talking about her. I'm not saying that Purple hadn't in the past, but Purple, like, for months hadn't said anything about Queen OG. And here comes Queen OG talking about Purple talking about her. But she didn't. At that point, she hadn't said anything about her at that point. Am I lying or am I lying?
You're not lying. It's just that Queen OG takes even the mildest criticism as a declaration of war. She takes criticism like God takes advice, and Gwyneth Paltrow takes carbohydrates, just not to be allowed at all.
It was just insane to me, and you would see her, Queen OG, no matter what chat we would be in, no matter what we were talking about, she's steady typing about herself. Everything was about her. Me, 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 me. Oh, and before I forget, speaking of me, 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 me. Okay, before the fake coma, Heidi, y'all, Warrior Sisterhood, shows up in Queen OG's chat. Okay, now they were enemies, but they became friends that night in the chat. Okay, Heidi was in the chat comforting her, saying, I know what it's like to be bashed, but I've changed. I've been to therapy. Okay. Later on is when she made that community wild post. Now, I ain't blaming Heidi, but that's a Heidi move, y'all, to act like somebody put her in a coma because they gave her some type of criticism. And it's just, is it a coincidence? Maybe. But Heidi showing up and then Queen OG faking being in a coma, why can't we blame Heidi? 6-Up says, I could see Heidi telling her, I've been bashed and bullied before. And you know what? I've never tried it, but maybe you should. Pretend you're in a coma. Make them feel bad. Because Heidi does that. You say one thing, you say boo to Heidi, and you're bashing her and her disabilities. I don't know. I just find it interesting that right there was Heidi in the comments, and then in the comments section saying, hey, Queen OG, I think you got me blocked on email. Can you unblock me? And then a few hours later, she's in a pretend coma. I don't know. I could be way off. But Heidi doesn't give good advice.
Meet the Munchausens.
Yes. I can't get that out of my head. Sounds legit. I mean, Heidi is the type of person that is like, you bashed me, so now I have a broken leg because of it. If you hadn't called me on my shit, my leg wouldn't be broke today. That type of stuff. Does that make sense, or am I crazy? Yes, Vicky. I mentioned Leviticus. LJ used to pretend to be sick. Coma
It
is a
will
whole.
be dead.
They want me dead. What is with these they want me dead people? They get any kind of pushback and all of a sudden they want me dead. That used to be our line for Leviticus. Well, no.
I don't know whether Heidi would have out and out suggested faking a coma, but I can perfectly see the conversation of Heidi saying, they've bashed me so much to the point of I felt like doing away with myself. And sort of Queen OG taking that and sort of adding a few cherries to it.
Yes. And in that video, she's like crying, Queen OG is, and she was like, Heidi, I never bashed you. I never bashed your disabilities. I'm like, oh my God, they're going to bond over this.
I just called you a bed bug. And one of the reality TV housewife. But I meant it with kindness.
Well, Liza said, well, you made her trip over her ego. So, yep. But I don't know. It's just weird to me that Heidi shows up and then all of a sudden she's in a coma. Well, she ain't in a coma. She's pretending to be in one. Heidi does wild shit, y'all. She called the law on poo. Had a 2-hour conversation with an officer on a clip channel named Pooh. Crazy stuff happens. She slashed a canvas. The dramatics. Hey, Carrie, you're always driving.
Actually, shout out to Kerry. If just on the off chance that you're listening, OG, Kerry, who just appeared in the chat, is the Kerry who has great contacts in California and has offered to help you find somebody who can help you.
Wow, I didn't know that. Carrie offered that?
She posted in Six Ups. Yeah, she posted Six Ups chat. She has a whole range of contacts to her mother's work. Before her mother passed, her mother was very a significant person.
Well, there you go. Don't take it as a diss. Don't take it as like she's making fun of you. Take it. But I will not put up with the manipulation. I will call it out. I do have things to say about it. And like I said earlier, I don't feel bad about it.
And Tyra's completely correct. Not a single person and all the hours of flapping your mouth for her or against her will make any difference. It has to be from Queen OG when Queen OG is ready. Mm-hmm. But there are people ready to help when you're ready to make that step.
And you know what? The internet, as cold and cruel as it can be, it can also be a very forgiving place. If you stand on it and you say, you know what? I lied. I was wrong. I was going through something. I'm sorry. People are very forgiving. Now, there's always going to be people bring it up. But if you were to actually do that, I would never bring it up again. Ever.
Same.
But you doing all this threatening people, threatening to sue people, lying and saying that your children are damaged now, and just all the manipulation. That I can't get behind. Hey, I love Volta. I can't get behind that. And if I want to talk about it, I will. And I just find it weird that there's some people that think that if you say something that you're bashing or bullying them. Nope. Thank you for dropping that. We all do. We all genuinely want her to get better. Kraken, you're bashing me. We do want her to get better. But I will not just let it go. The whole manipulation of it all. I just don't like
Yeah,
it.
I'm not going to be emotionally blackmailed
No.
by somebody. We let it go when you tried to do it to us in email. And perhaps that was a mistake. Perhaps this would have all happened even sooner if we'd have said something. But you took something that was made, a comment that was made with kindness and concern, and made it into an attack. And it was all just built from there.
Yeah, and I like what Pearl said. It is. It's emotion. It's emotional blackmail. Same. Yes, Metal Clip. That's the way I like to do it. I don't like the passive aggressive. I'll just say it. And I know for some people that can be off-putting, but for me, passive aggressive and not putting a name on it is off-putting. So,
I use they and them when I'm not sure how you identify gender-wise. If I know your name, I'll use your name.
oh, maybe I missed something.
No, not at all. I was just talking
Oh,
generally. The amount of people
oh,
that go on about them
oh,
and
right, right,
they.
right.
It's like, no, I'll say that if I'm not sure whether you identify as male or female or neither of those things. But if I know your name, I'll use your name. I will never say them,
Right,
they,
right.
the other side, those people.
No, I'll say your name. Oh, I'll say your name. And some people don't like it. Right, I love Alta. That's it. I'm unsubscribing. You just missed it. I was talking about, somebody showed up over at OG's and then she ends up in a fake coma. Heidi. Yeah, I agree, TJ. She's hurting her kids more than anyone right now. We can get over it. They won't. Well said. And I'm sure that they're seeing their mom. Whatever. I don't even know what to say there. It's just, I don't believe that they stumbled across a video. That I don't believe. I don't believe that the boy said, Mommy, I thought you were on oxygen. No, none of that happened. And sometimes you're going to get challenged on the internet, on YouTube. If people see your content and you're talking about, well, we'll just use what she did, for example, oxygen, saying her numbers were at this level when everybody else that knows this isn't true. Like she's saying, what did she say her number was? 50? It was low. And everybody was like,
Once
no.
she said it was 23 for a second, which is unbelievable.
Right.
And she said it was in the 50s and 60s. When my sister was put on life support and she could barely put two words together, it was going between, I think it was 75 and 78, flickering, and she could barely survive at that level.
God. And see, that's another thing. People who have actually been through this, like Pearl, she went through that with her sister, and then you come on here and you're lying, saying that your number is something that you would be dead. Oh, okay, you're good, hon. You wouldn't be here anymore. Yes, people are going to question you about that. They're going to challenge you on that. You don't go into a coma because you don't like what some people said to you. That's insane. You talk about, here's the thing, OG. You talk about how this is just YouTube and you're a roasting channel and you can do this, that, and the third and blah blah blah. Earth takes a clip of what you said, your words. She didn't add to or take away. She did add text from stuff she had researched and people she had spoke to. And she takes that clip, shows it to her sector, her subscribers, and they're like, whoa, that's not true. That's not how this works. and then you just absolutely lose it. And then tell people that you're in a coma. I've never seen anything like that. I've been here 5 years. Never have I seen anybody put themselves in a coma, even though you're not in a coma. Y'all know what I mean. I do remember the Sansaray lady who faked her death. But honestly, OG, I don't know what you're going to do. I don't know how you're going to come back from this, but you will come back from it. You'll be back on here. And I got a good feeling that you'll come back with the old, oh God, I don't know what you'll come back as, but you'll act like you're out of the coma. You've been in ICU for weeks, and all these people said all these horrible things about you. And don't worry, there will be people that will gather around and tell you how awful all of us are. You know that. You've been here long enough, right? That's how it'll go. Now, for me, though, I won't fall for it. That's just not how it's going to go. And if y'all wonder why Pearl went quiet, it's very late in UK time and people are sleeping. There are lots of crazy people on YouTube. Yes, there is. Oh my God. Yeah, there is. But this is this is up there. This is up there with one of the wildest things I've ever seen. Charlie girl, if your O2 stats are consistently below 60, your limbs will begin to die as the body reserves its oxygen for the most vital organs. That makes sense. I do too, Carrie. I hope she comes back healthy and apologizes. That would be the best thing to do. I don't see it happening. I see her coming back. Apologizing? No. Some people like to be the victim. They really do. Right? They're not all faking comas, manipulating people and threatening lives. That's not what you do because you don't like what somebody said about you. You don't threaten them with attorneys, the mafia. Wow. Yeah. I've seen crazy things, but that's not one of them. Yep, TJ. You know what, Six Up? You know how much I hate that word narc. But watching her, and she's so driven by ego, in my opinion. I don't think she would apologize. And maybe it does apply to her. I don't know. Some people actually are. Yeah. As much as I don't like throwing that word around, some people actually are narcissists. I've seen it. Yeah, it is, Wee Frosty. Denial is powerful. Me too, Stars. And Stars, that's been your stance the whole time. That's something you've said over and over again. I really feel bad for her kids. I hope she's not making them go through that and watching her do all this manic stuff. I really hope not. Yeah. I hate that more cracking asses. Yes. Live, laugh, love can go to hell. I hate it more than anything. And wait a minute. I see all of her. Yeah, I saw that too, Robin. All of her past lives are being posted. But I think when you hide your channel, because she hid her channel, and then you unhide it, I think, because I've never hidden mine, I think that they come back slowly. But she's still editing stuff. I agree, Vicky. She should really leave her family. I don't even think her husband has a clue what's going on. Truth be told, the man goes to work in the morning. She gets on the internet, writes up these community wall posts, and he's none the wiser. He comes home at night. She makes another community wall post. He's probably asleep in bed. He honestly probably doesn't have a clue what she's doing on here. I can imagine if, like, she went too far with this and he found out that she was using him to threaten people, and the man's probably just working and minding his business. Yeah, Eliza, that's what I thought. They come back a little at a time. Her members only lives are public now because you have to hide, because when you hide your channel, your monetization goes. Oh, that sucks. Hey, Tat Jack. Yes, you're late, but you can always catch the replay. Pearl's on silent right now. If my loved ones were supposedly shit posting on YouTube and editing videos while I was grasping my last breath, I would haunt them forever. Right. Because how did he have time? He also said in the email he sent to Earth, he told her that he worked 11 to 11 the day that she was in the coma in ICU, not going to make it. Then he had to get the kids ready for school. Okay. So, and then he's claiming, well, it's not him, it's her, claiming that he's talking to his lawyers. They're telling him to get his affairs in order while he works 11 to 11, getting the kids ready for school, cooking them, all the stuff he said he was doing. That email did. There were so many inconsistencies. Like I said, she did not think this through. She really thought that she could make everybody feel bad by pretending to be in a coma, acting as her husband, and everybody would just shut up about her. No, you made it worse. Right, Vicky? Hopefully no one shows up at his job or calls. People are sick on here. They will go real life. And no, do not bother this man, please. Leave him alone. God bless him. He's already going through enough. I can imagine you got her beating up her community wall post like it's a damn diary. And me too, Carrie. My husband would not give a damn about YouTube, Facebook. Well, I don't even have a Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, nothing. If I was in a coma, my husband, the only thing he would be concerned about besides me would be getting a hold of my family, not writing on a community wall, not asking. He asked Six Up in Earth. Well, he didn't. She asked, pretending to be her husband, for Six Up in Earth's phone number. Told them that they needed to call her attorney or him. I can't remember. There's been so many things happen. I do too. Soup. I thought she told us that they had their own business. Yeah, I think so. I think he's a business owner. So him being his own boss, essentially, he doesn't have to, if his wife was in even if he wasn't, any manager would be like, buddy, take all the time you need. Your wife's in a coma. She might not make it. Oh my God. Yeah. Take some of your friends' PTO. She says he hangs in the garage. I thought she was in the garage. with all the shoes. I will only accept shit posting manipulations via me. Well, 6 up knows. I don't think the man knows, though, to be quite honest. I don't think he knows what's going on. And I would never do anything like she done. It would never even cross my mind. But had I done something like that and my husband found out, oh my God. Oh my God. That's gross. That's it. There would be so many issues, rightfully so. I wouldn't have an internet. And not like he's my daddy or anything like that, but my God, get it. And husbands and wives should hold each other accountable like that. And then she is, oh God. What was it? His Shining or Charlie girl in here? Iris. Or did I dream this? No. Did she post something on her TikTok that was meant to be from her husband of a sad song? Like she had already, left this earth plane. Y'all let me know, because seriously, I can't remember if I dreamed that or not. Something I find surprising from all the postings from the attorney, he has yet to identify himself. Seems that would be of some importance for people to reach him. Exactly. It did happen. I thought so. I don't, because I was watching Shining the other night, and y'all know I go to bed early. And I didn't know if I dreamed it or if it really happened. Oh my God. 2 TikToks of the same sad singing lady. His editing was poor. Yep, it's definitely her. She did not post right after she changed the name of her TikTok. Oh my God. Hold on a minute. Let me see if I can. I know she's in the bushes. Watch this. Hold on. Oh yeah, she renamed herself the Goddess Bassett. What the hell? Wait a minute. It looks like she's removed it. I think her TikTok's gone. Wait a minute. No, it ain't. What the hell? It's only got one post. What the hell? Who's this? That's not her. Anyway, I think she has deleted her TikTok. She has really become social media tech savvy in the last few days, right? I get it. Bassett, short for basset hounds that cry all the time. Oh, Carrie. Okay, I am. Let me check. I'm looking. Oh my God. She's still posting even after the 2 sad songs. But I can't find it. Bassett is a goddess of cats in Egypt. Well, now, she loves cats. Hold on, y'all. I'm going to type that in real quick. I probably shouldn't do this out loud. Let me, hold on. Oh, I'm blocked. Oh, well, I can fix that. Good grief, Queen OG. I can make another one. Yeah, she's still posting from a coma. Yeah, I'm blocked, but I've got other ways. I've been doing this a long time. You know what I mean? Yeah, Georgette, if we can't see anything, we're blocked. She's going to block the whole damn sector. Oh, Turtle Dove, welcome. Yeah, because I'm about to end it because it is a school night. Got to check on the little one. I fed her before I went live. But I don't like her to be alone in her room too long by herself. Yeah, exactly. You just sign out. All right, y'all. I'm out. I'm going to try to do a live in the morning. Me and Pearl, we got to get over to the Jerks and do another live. We definitely do. And Pearl is agreeing with me, even though you can't hear her because it's like 2 a.m. over there. Yes, I learned from the best sector how to have extra pages. You know that. Oh, God, I learned that early on. What, 2017? You too, TPE. All right, y'all. Y'all have a beautiful and blessed night, and I might see y'all in the morning. And yeah, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. And don't let this send you into a coma. All right, okay, I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be good. I love y'all.